I bet you didn't know how many killers have slipped through the cracks. Today we're diving into the chilling world of crime with a countdown of the top 10 killers who got away. Think you've heard it all? Think again? We're about to explore the darkest corners of the human psyche, the cases that continue to haunt investigators even today. Buckle up! This one's going to be intense. Let's get started. Starting off with number 10. The terror that struck Texas. It's the late 1800s, Austin. 8 women, all domestic servants, are found murdered in their beds. The killer, a phantom in the night, always struck with an axe. Despite a city-wide manhunt and Alan Pinkerton's involvement, the case went cold. The servant girl annihilator vanished, leaving behind fear and unanswered questions. I bet you didn't know about the killer who turned the city of Cleveland into his own macabre playground. At number 9, we have the Cleveland torso murderer. Between 1934 and 1938, the city was gripped by gruesome discoveries. Dismembered, drained of blood, often decapitated, the victims shared one thing in common: their lives had been brutally cut short. Despite a massive investigation, the case remained unsolved. The Cleveland torso murderer slipped through the cracks of justice, leaving behind a city forever scarred. I bet you didn't know the dark history behind New Orleans' vibrant jazz scene. Coming in at number 8, we travel to the heart of New Orleans, a city pulsing with life, music, and a darkness that ran deeper than anyone could have imagined. This is the story of the Axeman. From 1918 to 1919, as the jazz scene boomed, a different kind of rhythm spread through the city. The chilling sound of an axe biting into flesh. The Axeman, as he became known, preyed on the unsuspecting, breaking into homes in the dead of night and leaving a trail of blood and terror in his wake. In a chilling letter to the newspapers, the Axeman promised to spare the lives of anyone who played jazz music in their homes. The Axeman vanished into the shadows, leaving behind an unsolved mystery and a chilling question. Was he a music lover driven to madness, or was there a method to his murderous melody? What's something people don't know about the Zodiac Killer? Codes, ciphers, and unbreakable silence. Number 7 takes us to the heart of California, where a different kind of monster stalked the streets, the Zodiac Killer. In the late 1960s, as the summer of love faded into memory, a new kind of darkness descended upon Northern California. The Zodiac Killer, a shadowy figure who remains unidentified to this day, terrorized the Bay Area, claiming responsibility for a series of brutal murders. The Zodiac taunted police with cryptic letters filled with ciphers and coded messages, each one a twisted puzzle box hinting at his identity and motives. Despite numerous investigations, countless suspects, and the tireless efforts of amateur sleuths, the Zodiac's true identity remains a mystery. At number 6, we come to the haunting story of the Phantom Killer. The Phantom Killer terror in Texarkana. We find ourselves in Texarkana, a small town on the Texas-Arkansas border where a phantom stalked the moonlight, leaving behind a trail of fear and uncertainty. In 1946, as the world was recovering from the horrors of World War II, a new kind of terror gripped the town of Texarkana. Despite a massive manhunt, the Phantom Killer vanished into thin air, leaving behind a string of unsolved murders and a town forever marked by the terror of his crimes. Was he a drifter passing through, a local with a score to settle, or a manifestation of the darkness that can lurk even in the most seemingly peaceful of places? I don't think people understand the chilling secrets hidden in the dunes of Long Island. The Long Island serial killer, Lisk, whispers in the dunes. Number 5 takes us to the desolate beaches of Long Island, where the whispers of the wind carry a chilling secret: the Long Island serial killer, or Lisk. Since 1996, the bodies of young women, mostly sex workers, have been discovered scattered along the desolate stretches of Gilgo Beach. Despite years of investigation, a dedicated task force, and a $25,000 reward, Lisk remains elusive. Why are there not more people talking about this? Taking the number 4 spot is a chilling theory that has captivated and terrified people for decades: the Smiley face killer. Imagine this: a string of young men, often college students, found dead in bodies of water across the United States. At first glance, they appear to be tragic accidents, drunken mishaps, or suicides. But look closer, and a chilling pattern emerges. Near many of the crime scenes, a sinister calling card, a smiley face, spray-painted onto a nearby surface. Could this be the work of a single killer, a nomadic predator targeting vulnerable young men? Or, as some believe, is it a network of killers operating in the shadows? We arrive at number 3 on our list, Canada's infamous Highway of Tears. Imagine driving along a desolate stretch of road, the dense wilderness pressing in on either side, the silence broken only by the hum of your engine. Now imagine that same road, transformed into a corridor of fear, a place where over 40 women, mostly Indigenous, have vanished without a trace or been found murdered. Since the 1970s, the Highway of Tears has been a place of unspeakable sorrow, a stark reminder of the vulnerability of women, particularly Indigenous women in our society. Despite numerous investigations, the majority of these cases remain unsolved. Are you terrified to discover the dark secrets hidden in paradise? Coming in at number 2, we have the Monster of Tuscany, Italy, a evil lurked beneath the surface of paradise. Imagine strolling through the rolling hills of Florence, the scent of cypress and wildflowers in the air, the sun warm on your skin. Now imagine that idyllic scene shattered by the knowledge that between 1968 and 1985, a serial killer dubbed the Monster of Florence stalked these very hills, leaving behind a trail of blood and terror. Despite numerous suspects, countless hours of investigation, and a media frenzy that gripped the nation, the Monster of Florence was never caught. Did he die, flee the country, or is he still out there, a ghost in the Tuscan twilight? And finally, at number 1, we arrive at the chilling tale that started it all, Jack the Ripper. Step back in time to 1888. London, shrouded in fog, becomes a hunting ground for Jack the Ripper. Imagine the terror that gripped Whitechapel as bodies of women brutally murdered began to surface. The Ripper's crime suggested a knowledge of anatomy. Despite countless suspects and clues, Jack the Ripper vanished into the fog. His legend lives on, a chilling reminder of unsolved mysteries. And there you have it, the top 10 killers who got away. These stories remind us that some mysteries are never solved, some questions never answered. If you enjoyed this journey into the darkest corners of history, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more chilling content. Stay safe out there, and remember, sometimes the scariest things are the ones that remain unknown. See you next time.